In today's video, we're going to be checking out the Breville Barista Touch. And we've been using the Express Barista model for over 3 years and decided to upgrade to the Touch. So mostly I'm going to go over of what we like and don't like about this Touch compared to the older Express. And they are quite similar, but very different in how they operate. So the Barista Touch here has a large touchscreen display, as you can see here up front. Let's go ahead and push the power button. And you guys can see it lights up. You've got a little logo there and the pump pumps up. So the main highlight of the Touch is that you do have this large touch screen that you interact with. And so a lot of things are done in there. And you're either gonna love that or you're gonna hate it. So we coming from the Express where everything is manual, it's a little bit strange to interact with the Touch, and it seems like it would be more convenient, but it actually slows things down, at least for us. Now that doesn't mean that the Touch is not superior, because it is. And the reason for that is because it's got lots of programs for different types of drinks. Also, what makes it great is that you can put in some custom ones like we have here that's called JVM there. So the machine itself is not very large. It's 12.7 inches wide by 15.5 deep and 16 inches tall. But yeah, it's pretty good compact size, which should fit pretty much anywhere. And that's what makes the Barista models quite appealing, because they could work in pretty much any kitchen, being very feature packed and still somewhat compact. So the one you're seeing here is in stainless steel, but they have a couple other choices. We like the more industrial stainless steel look. And one of the other things about the Touch here is that it has a lot of chrome on it. So the Express was kind of like a brushed aluminum, kind of like this everywhere. But the Touch has a lot of chrome, like here, and even the handle and all this is chrome. And we prefer the brushed aluminum, even though this looks fancier, but it's harder to keep this cleaner and nicer looking because you're able to see every little thing on it. If you have like a small little dent or something, you'll be able to see it way easier because it's like a mirror finish on everything. So that's more of a preference, but yeah, just keep in mind that the Touch is a lot more shiny, and even just the plastics are more shiny, which is kind of interesting. And the metal that it is brushed, it's coated with clear coat, I think, and that makes it more shiny also than the Express. So the machine is quite simple to use. You just put your coffee beans in the hopper here, and then you got the grinder that grinds them, and they fall into the cup here just like that. And then you have a tamper here that pulls out, it's magnetic, and then you can tamp the ground coffee. And then once you get this in here, then you choose what kind of drink you want. So let's say we want an Americano here. And then here we are presented with some options. And you can adjust here the duration and the size of the grind. And you have a knob here on the side where you can adjust it and make it finer or coarser. So we found that 12 is pretty good for us. And the screen is interactable, so anything you touch, you can adjust. So here we can adjust how many seconds it grinds for. So for the cup that we're using, 10 is the right amount. And here you can choose the size of the cup, either it's a double or a single. And then we have the brew here in the middle, and here you can actually customize it too. You can make it large, medium, or small, the brew. And then we got a special button just for hot water, and if we push that, it's gonna heat up the water and start spraying it out of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. And then at the very right here, we have the milk frothing. Also, is quite unique about the Touch is because it does have its own sensor here. And when you put the milk in the cup and put the wand inside and set it down on the sensor, when you turn it on, it's going to froth it until a certain temperature, which for this drink it's set at 160. Even though this thing has a lot of features and everything, it seems like the process of making one is definitely more cumbersome compared to a manual Express where you do everything yourself. But the huge advantage is that more people that don't know how to use this thing can make a coffee by just pushing buttons and setting the thing under. So to add your own customized profile, I guess, is you're going to click on Add New here. And so here you can choose between the different things that are available, or you can completely go from scratch and make your own. So here we're going to add water. So we can add the water for however many seconds before the drink starts. Then we're going to add brew. 25 seconds is fine. And then the milk, and here we can adjust the temperature higher or lower. So I found that around 140 is actually perfect. And here we can froth more or less depending on how you like your milk. If you like it really fine, you can go all the way up. So once we're done adjusting all that, we'll just say okay, and then we're going to choose a icon here of, I guess, what's available. Let's choose that one, and then you can name it. I'll just put in JV here, and we'll push OK. And now we created our own drink here, and every time we click on it, these things will come up the same always. And you can still adjust it all by clicking on it and fine-tuning it. But let's say if you want to adjust something here, what you're going to do, you're going to go back here to the main menu, and you're going to click and hold it, and then it'll pop up that you can edit or delete it. And you can only do that from the main menu. So if you need to adjust it, you have to do it here. So if I click on edit, now we can edit everything again. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics. You kind of figure it out, and it's actually not as complicated as it seems. So the water tank in the back is 2 liters capacity, and that's enough to make quite a few drinks, but it's not huge by any means. So, you know, refilling is definitely a job if you use it a lot, but it does have a nice handle and it pops out. There is quite a large filter inside, and also there is a little magnet in here that goes up and down as the water goes down. So when the water goes close to the minimum level here, it prompts it on the screen that you need to add more water. So you're never gonna, you know, be in the middle of making your coffee and not have enough water, because the machine will let you know that you're low. And also we have a pretty nice tray here that pops out, and we can store some of the cups in the back there for storage and other things. And overall, this thing comes apart quite easily. It just pops all up, and this thing pops up too. And it's easy to clean in the sink and just rinse it and slide it back in. And there is a little indicator here that pops up that tells you when it gets full. Now, when we do make the coffee, so let's say we click on brew, the advertised heat up time is 3 seconds, and I'm not sure if it's preheated right now or not. Normally, if you turn it on, choose what you want, and then go straight for brew, it really does only take 3 seconds and it starts pouring out the coffee. So I'm gonna click it here real quick, and we can see here 1, 2, 3, and there it goes. So that's usually how it works every time. And also the wand is really quick too. There's no waiting around like on the Express where it takes a while. This thing does it pretty much immediately, and you guys can see it's already frothing. So it's really quick. And also one thing to mention about the frothing is that you do have to put quite a bit of milk into your cup, because since you're just gonna lower it in there like that, the frother doesn't go all the way down or close, so there's like a, you know, nice gap there. So you have to add quite a bit of milk in to the minimum, and so we don't normally use a lot of milk, so this becomes kind of a little bit of a waste. Now you can do it manually if you just raise it like this, and you can manually, you know, froth it yourself. But then you're back to the manual, you're not taking advantage of all the features. So I guess, you know, it's kind of a positive and a negative at the same time. But yeah, overall, I would say it's a really nice machine, and you have quite a few different kinds of coffees you can make. So we got espresso, Americano, latte, flat white, cappuccino, water, and then, you know, your own stuff. And then you got hot milk also if you want to do that.